Hi, I'm Catherine Hurd, and I'm going to tell you about the World Prison Brief. It's a unique database giving you open access to a huge amount of information on world prison populations. The COVID-19 pandemic has shown how important it is to monitor the size of our prison populations and be alert to the risk of prison overcrowding. The pandemic spread through prisons in many countries with a speed and ferocity that really brought home the health risks of mass incarceration. Having reliable data on prison populations has never been more important, with well over 60% of the world's countries having overcrowded prison systems today. Let's go to the website and I'll show you its key features. After 5 minutes, you'll know how to find out for virtually any country in the world how many prisoners that country has in total, how many prisoners there are per 100,000 of the population, which is called the prison population rate, or PPR, what proportion of prisoners are women, youths, or non-nationals, how many are pre-trial, and whether these numbers have gone up or down since 5, 10, or 20 years earlier. Let's take a country and have a look how it works. You can find the website at www.prisonstudies.org. Once you're on the home page, you click on World Prison Brief Data at the top. You can select from the menu a region and then a country. We'll take the world's biggest incarcerator, America. Here you see the total prison population, over 2.1 million, and the PPR, which is 655. And down the page, you'll see all the other categories I mentioned. And then further down the page, you see the trend information going back to 2000. And by the way, for most countries, including America, you can go back a lot further than 2000 by clicking on further information. Now, to see a country with a very different approach to penal policy, let's look at Europe and take the Netherlands, which uses prison far, far less. Shorter sentences, less resort to custody, a completely different approach. So let's look at their PPR, 63, a tenth of America's. But you'll see from the trends table at the bottom of the screen that it wasn't always that low. Dutch prison rates used to be among the highest in Western Europe until they took a completely different policy tack. And that shows there's nothing inevitable about the steady climb in prisoner numbers that we've seen in recent times. Another great feature of the brief is the highest to lowest ranking, which lets you compare countries and regions in their use of imprisonment. Go back to World Prison Brief Data and select the highest to lowest function from the menu, and then decide what you want to rank. First, you choose a category from the drop-down menu, so let's take occupancy rankings to see which countries have the worst prison overcrowding. Then you choose whether you're comparing within a region or globally. So for this, let's select the whole world, click Apply, and you have your rankings. A couple of caveats. There are 3 countries that don't publish their data on prison populations: Somalia, Eritrea, and North Korea. And also China only includes sentenced prisoners in their data. So the hundreds of thousands of people held in pre-trial and administrative detention aren't included, which is a big gap. And obviously also the data on the brief are only as good as what the countries themselves publish. Apart from compiling and updating prisons' populations data regularly, our research team also produces various core publications which are also on the website. For example, our prison population lists. These give you a snapshot of the entire world prison population, or a category of it, at a given time. And when the last issue of the World Female Imprisonment List came out, there were hundreds of media articles covering it because it showed that the rate of increase of women prisoners was far higher than that of male prisoners. And understandably, people wanted to know why that was. So, who does all the hard work to bring you the World Prison Brief? Well, since 2014, the Prisons Research Team here at ICPR, part of the School of Law at Birkbeck, University of London, have been responsible for hosting the database. But the brief goes back a lot further than that. It celebrated its 20th birthday in 2020. Our colleague Roy Walmsley founded the brief in 2000 and he still compiles the data, aided by my colleague Helen Fair. And who uses the World Prison Brief and what impact does it have? Well, pages on the website were viewed over 1 million times last year, with users coming from almost every country. The brief contributes to public discourse on imprisonment. It's used by journalists, researchers, governments, NGOs. And after COVID-19 took hold, our data were used by the UN, by Human Rights Watch, a whole load of other organisations to highlight the importance of tackling prisoner overcrowding urgently. Even presidents rely on our data. Before leaving office, Barack Obama cited the World Prison Brief in a piece that he wrote for Harvard Law Review. But we don't just do data. Since 2017, we've been working with NGOs and other partners around the world to look at some of the causes and consequences of rising prisoner numbers. And you can find out more about some of the work we're doing in that area on the website, and if you look at another video that I've recorded. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching.